my name's Ben. I run a company called Skip the Line, and I help clothing brands who are doing in between $10,000 and $70,000 a month scale their revenue massively. So before we click off the video, because you're like, who is this guy? What is happening? I'm gonna give you some really useful information. I'm gonna give you the exact formula that I've been using to scale these brands. Plus, I'm gonna give you my story and a load of other useful information that you can use and apply directly into your business. So this is gonna be a super helpful video. Let's get into it. I have a strategy that is completely unknown and can help any brand owner double their revenue at bare minimum. How do I know this to be true? Well, before I get into that, I'm gonna just quickly explain any limiting beliefs that you guys might have. This does not include spending a whole load of money on ads. It does not include taking a whole load of high risk. It does not include any fraud. It does not include setting up multiple Shopify sites. It does not include setting up 15 different Instagram and TikTok accounts. It does not include taking any major risks with financing options or Klarna or any crazy stuff like that. And it does not include having your profits drawn down to 10 or 5% or anything like that. This is a strategy that will keep your profits exactly where they are, if not boost them up, and double your revenue. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can you be so confident that you can just double my revenue? Everyone's saying it, all these coaches, oh, I can double your revenue, this and this. I've done it 10 times over with one business. Fire Collective, which is my clothing brand, I'll pop it up on the screen right now, started off when I was working with them, making around £10,000 per drop. Now, our last drop, we did $104,000. Pop up the screenshot. And the other couple of thousand was wholesale distribution, which was to a private store in London. Let's get into why I can do this and how I started. Okay, so roll back the timeline. I was about 15 years old. I started in the dropshipping niche, just how everybody does, making Shopify stores, getting on calls, learning the basic themes, all the easy and basic stuff. Obviously, I didn't have much success, most people don't, but I got pretty good at building Shopify stores. As time goes on, I started working with a clothing brand here, starting my own brands, again, never had much success. At that point, I started working with a partner of mine who we decided to start making comedy videos online. This is where I really got my first feel for making videos, getting views. We had a couple videos do 1 million views, 3 million views, skits, interviews, all of it. I got a really good concept for what is a viral video, what is a non-viral video. Then, as time goes on, I got into sales. This is just my story, talking about exactly what happened. So from this point onwards, I'm in sales. I'm doing a job for a digital marketing company for music artists. And it's going really well. I was one of the best sales reps they had. I was the #1 appointment setter and then the #1 closer for a good couple of months. At the end of the day, I realized that my passion lied in e-com, and I still use those sales skills to today's day. Sales skills are amazing. I recommend everybody gets into a sales job if they want to start an online business, but this is for brand owners only. This is for you guys. So I wanted to get back into e-com, but I didn't really have any ins, and spoke to the boss at the digital marketing agency and the production company that I was working with, and he actually knew that I had some experience with clothing brands and stuff like that. Nothing came up, I was just continuing to do the sales job, working on other stuff, not really doing too much. Then I got into something called the Vintage Connect. I'll throw up the Vintage Connect on screen here. I think we have 12,000 followers at the time of this video. Vintage Connect was, and is still running to this day, a digital product where we sell info on the supplier, contact information, boring, doesn't matter. Point is, this is my first taste of actually succeeding in e-com. It was 100% profit, and it was super fun. I started making some serious money doing that. That was the first taste of money I ever had at about 17 years old. Time goes on. I'm starting to do pretty well with Vintage Connect. I'm really getting good with Shopify now. I'm starting to learn the upsells, the back end, the fulfillment strategies, starting to do my first little teams here and there, having a VA coming in, all the basic stuff you can imagine. Then I get maybe 6, 8, 12 months down the line goes on, and I get a call from the boss at the digital marketing company that I was working with. Hey, we've got this clothing brand owner. I told him you would speak to him. And I was like, whatever, I'll talk to him. So I get on the phone with him and I hear about his story, and this is Fire Collective. And I was just super intrigued. And I was like, all right, let me just help. And so month 1, I just completely work for free. And this is just the true story. I'm just working, figuring out what we can do here, working on the ads, doing this, doing that. And we just had pretty near instant success. Time goes on and we start to do pretty well. 2 months down the line, we have a drop, we have occurrences. I feel like with Fire Collective, we were able to make, I was personally able to make every mistake in the book. Everything went wrong, and everything that went wrong was such a blessing and such a lesson, because everything that went wrong was recorded. Everything that went wrong was written down. All the mistakes were written down. Everything was looked upon. So I can now go into a clothing brand and go, oh, you're doing X, Y, and Z wrong. And that's where a lot of the confidence I get comes from, is literally actively making those mistakes for 8 months' time. So Vintage Connect at this point is still running. I'm still helping out, leading a team for the digital marketing agency. At this point, I'm now a team leader. And as I say, this brand starts to do pretty serious numbers. This is a couple of months ago now. We're doing 30K, 40K, around there. And really confident, really happy with how everything's going, but obviously you're just going to want more. And at this point, I start reaching out to other brands. Hey man, let me help you with this. Because I know I've hit 40K and we've hit it a couple of times. I'm thinking to myself, all right, I know I've hit 30K and I know we've hit it a couple of times. And so I'm like, okay, let me see if I can help anybody else. Let me see what I can do here. So start to help a few other brands with short form content, designing, start to get some relationships with a couple of designers, start to learn more about the business, start to really understand clothing at a deeper level and get more context over everything. So as time goes on, I start to kind of do super well with clothes. We have a really good collab drop. We had an insane month. We had a $1,000 day. We had the best Black Friday that we'd ever had as a company. Things start to look bright. And just so you guys know, because I think this is super important, a lot of coaches and consultants hop on and they were in the e-com niche 4 years ago. They were doing something 6 years ago. I'm actively running Fire Collective. And I will change this video if that changes. Okay? I'm actively helping, I'm actively in the mix, I'm actively marketing, I'm actively running ads, Klaviyo, SMS. I'm actually in the mix with the vast majority of stuff. And yeah, that's the story. We went from 10,000 to 104,000 in a matter of 10 months. And that may sound pretty nice, but it was one of the most difficult and grueling things that I've ever done. And that's why I say, if I ever speak to one of you guys, I will tell you that running a brand is genuinely one of the hardest things you can do in the business niche. It is extremely difficult. And that's why I only really wanted to work with people who were motivated and like so dedicated to what they do. They just actually like, they loved fashion. So that's my story. That's how we got to 100K per drop. That's the general rundown of my business story. I think it's super important that you guys, get a bit of context on who I am, what I'm doing, what I have as far as what I have done as far as the last couple of years. Now let's talk about why I think I'm so confident that I can help scale pretty much all the clothing brands that are, as I say, in between 10K to about 60, 70K. Why I think I can really help. So this is Skip the Line. And this is my method that I've been using and what we used for Fire and what we used for all the brands that I've been helping, all the coaching calls I've been doing. This is the VPO strategy, volume plus optimization strategy, and this is the general idea of how we scale. We take volume, we add more volume to it, and then we get more data. I'm going to break this down in just reasonably quickly as far as how we do things. We take basically whatever volume you're doing right now. Let's talk about posting, let's talk about money you're putting into ads, let's look at this or whatever. We add more volume to it. We get more data from that, and then we can lead to better decisions. It's extremely simple. If you're posting 10 videos a week and then we post 30 videos a week, we get so much more information on, okay, what does it actually mean? At the same time as doing this though, because brute force does not always open the door. Sometimes you need a lockpick. And this is exactly what this is here. Optimization against our competitors. So we look at, okay, who's in your niche? What are they doing? Let's actually do the research together. Let's sit down, one-on-one call, go through the document, write down, okay, this person's doing this person's doing this. We optimize the best parts of their campaigns and that best part of their social media and what they do best as quickly as physically possible. Because again, we're adding volume. So the volume is going up as well as the optimization. So we niche down what you're doing, but we also add volume to it. So instead of having 50% good in one block, we have 100% good in 2 blocks, if that makes sense. Try and do a visual demonstration up there. Might have to get the 3D guys on it. So as we have now got so much optimization plus these documents here for optimization where we're going to write down. We can elicit better decisions as far as more volume, which gives us more data overall, because now we've got an optimized system for content or fulfillment or whatever this is. This works unanimously across all of your systems as a clothing brand. Then we get all of this volume that's going in. There's just volume. Because the thing about social media is most people just don't do enough of it. The thing about ads is most people don't have enough creatives. The thing about all of this stuff is you just don't have enough data. So now we've got more data overall, and then we optimize through that data even more. Then we have something called profit plateau. And so what's going to happen, no matter what, at all the time, you're going to make more money, 100%. You're going to make more profit. This should be revenue as well. You're going to make more revenue. But you're also going to plateau. Truth is, if you just do this once, the systems change, the strategies change. This is going to take a while. Once this is done, as I say, it plateaus even if you make more money. That's why it's so quick. This is how you add 10 to 20K. We could just cut it off here. That's how you add 10 to 20K. Honestly, a lot of the times, changing 1 or 2 systems could add 10 to 20K worth of revenue. Fixing your website, full one-on-one audit on your website, fixing your website and fixing literally just your social media campaigns, your Instagram, 10 to 20K right there. Forget it. What we do next, you guessed it, volume plus volume again, quick optimization against the competitors, and this is now a month or 2 later, so there's new strategies, new competitors, new people coming up with new strategies that are working, new trends in the social media aspect, new ad sets, new ad preferences, and new ad targeting that is working. More data, better decisions, infinite, plus learning. Okay, so let's talk about plus learning real quick. What does that mean? That means we take the information that we've got and we look at what is a blind spot. Let's say we've got 20 different systems in place. We look at the systems that are weakest and perform the worst, and then we just learn aggressively about those systems. And what is learning? There's multiple things when it comes to learning. Okay, so learning includes network. So going and talking to other brand owners, going and talking to us, going and talking to your team, going and talking to people who you outreach to, going and talking to people who are media buyers or social media coaches and discussing with them what's working right now. So there's that. And then as well as that, we've got research. So actually doing the strategies that you get taught up here with the documents that we write out. Then there's going to be analysis. What is analysis? Simple as going into your ads manager, going into, we're just using marketing as an example. All these things can be done. Go into your Alibaba for fulfillment, going into your designs and doing polls to see, analysis-wise, what gets the best results. What is a winning product, or what is a winning ad? What is a winning creative, wherever you are in your systems. And the last thing to do with optimization is basically just learning ops, books, looking at major niches, looking at the marketing game as a total, looking at people like Gary Vee. Gary Vee doesn't run a clothing brand, but he might have a document on this that I'm going to read. Hyper-specific stuff about niches and really looking into your brand and books and stuff like that. And again, I'm always reading this stuff. I'm always looking at articles. I'm always sending it over to my clothing brand friends because it's a data game. Like the more you know, the more success you're going to have overall. So this is specifically how we do that. The problem with somebody going and doing this by yourself and not kind of coming to us about it is mainly that the problem with somebody doing this by themselves is they don't know how to add more volume whilst optimizing at the same time. Mainly find it extremely difficult to optimize quickly because people don't actually know how to optimize correctly. I have a whole system and honestly about 2 to 3 hours of documents and writing and videos that I've just made for myself and team members about how to optimize your strategies in the most effective way possible and then how to add volume without it just being like extra workload. Because ironically, people add volume and they're like 1 plus 1. Right? So it's like, okay, effort plus effort equals, there you go. And it's just not, this is not how you do that. Yes, you're adding more volume. However, if you're doing 1 shoot a week, now you have to do 2 sheets a week to add volume, completely incorrect. You could do 1 shoot a week. You can add 2 hours to the timeline on that shoot. you could pull up with 2 different outfits and different samples, and now you're doing 1 4-hour shoot instead of 2 shoots a week, which is gonna cost you more to rent out. It's gonna give you more problems overall. It's gonna give you 10 times more difficulty as far as getting the samples in. It's just gonna be a nightmare. You now have to shoot 2 times a week. Do you know what I mean? The photographer's got to come back out again. You add 2 hours to your shoot time, you do that. That's what I'm talking about, volume overload. You don't want to give yourself double the tasks. You're already working 40 hours a week. But we can really figure out ways here that we can give you double the work with, we can figure out ways here where we can put out double the content and get double the results. And if anything, content is an exponential force, but get exponential results without having to put double work in. So I'm not saying here, you're working 40 hours a week, you need to work 80 hours a week. I don't think that works. I think you'll get diminishing results. But there's definitely strategies and ways out here where we can take that to the next level. And it's important that you guys understand that's how we're working when it comes to this. So let me first off say, if you get it to this like checkpoint in the video, thank you so much for watching to this point. Most people don't. And I just want to say that I really, really appreciate that. I think that you got a pretty good attention span. You know what I mean? Maybe you come back to this video after like 3 attempts. And if so, then hey, fair enough. But this is the general mechanism. I want to give you a couple more bits of information about this mechanism. It's very hard to keep yourself up to date, to do it multiple times. It's very hard because optimization compounds. So this is something that we look at all the time. Optimization, when you optimize something, optimizing it again can usually make it way more effective than it did the first time. So we take systems, we optimize them 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 different times, then it's just going to take it to the whole next level. And if you need like a physical example of that, because I'm just kind of saying the word optimization, you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a physical example of that. We had a website, and it was like subpar, it was mediocre. We fixed up that website, and it did a bit better. It went from like a 1% to like a 1.3% conversion rate, okay? And then we optimized again, where we changed the theme out, because we saw that a lot of the bigger stores were in our niche were moving away from this like sense theme and like the default theme. It's like, okay, let's try out the shrine theme or like a custom theme, something like that. Optimization then compounded because we had all these new stuff that we brought in, reviews, whatever, the new product descriptions, better products, whatever. And then now we had like double the results. What's amazing on top of that though is we optimize in all fields. So we do this in everywhere. So you do this with your fulfillment. So now it's going to a factory and XYZ problems. Then you've got your product, which is now 10 times more viral. Again, an exponential force virality. XYZ, there's more stuff as well. And then we take your marketing as well, which again is pretty exponential. Marketing can just go absolutely insane. And then XYZ, and then obviously you've got your website as well, which conversion rate is a pretty exponential force. You can get that from 1% to 2%. Your ads are more profitable. Your influencer campaigns are better ran. Everything is better when your conversion rate goes up. Now, it's just simple math, right? We add these up here, we have a hugely optimized system. So that's like one of the major things is being able to know, okay, what's at the forefront? And that's really what we do is understand what is at the forefront of running a brand at 100K a month. That's exactly what I'm doing currently. It's just so important that you work with us. Like, I really want you guys to feel the same success that we've been able to do and replicate, because it is a knowledge game. Like, a lot of it is about knowing what to do and then just copying the formulas of the guys at the top. And like, realistically, just like thinking about it, you guys could just do this. Like, I've just given this to you. You could just go and do it. Problem is, you're probably just not gonna know exactly what to do. It's gonna take you a lot of time to learn. And instead of having like an insight on, I can send you every creative we've ever had and show you exactly how successful all of them been with a scale of ROAS. You'd have to go to Ads Manager, download PP ads, get an ad spy, see how long they've been running for, do some data. Maybe it's got a good ROAS, maybe it hasn't. What's this one? With every system in your business. You have to do that with content. Okay, they got 1 million views. Like, what does 1 million views mean? We got 1 million views and got like hardly any sales. We've got 1 million views and we've got 6 grand's worth of sales. And so it's a very difficult thing to do by yourself. And now that's why I'm discouraging it for 2 reasons. Being honest with you, I want to work with coaching clients. I want to get paid for doing a good job, and I want to help clothing brands scale. That's what I'm obsessed with. That's what I want to do. That's why I wrote this whole fucking thing out. But at the same time, I do actually think that away from just my selfish motives, I do genuinely believe that we can otherworldly scale you. Because realistically, maybe this helps you and maybe you just go and become a millionaire, and fucking props to you. But if you could do it, why weren't you doing it already? Everyone knows to go and look at the competitors and optimize, and everyone knows that they should just post more videos. But if you don't have the system in place to help you do that, it tends to be really difficult. So to sum it up, if you've got to the end of this video, you really fucked with it, you may or may not have already booked a one-on-one call. If you want to work with me one-on-one, the link is in the description. I really appreciate you guys for watching this. But let's absolutely run it up in 2025. I want everybody's brand to hit 100K a month.